What's up, people? We are back. ChillTech is here with another podcast. Today was the Google event. Jovan was hype, couldn't wait. Had a party at his house. He was throwing down. I am Christian, the lower third list person here tonight. With us, we got Jovan, as always. How's it going, Jovan?
Hey, happy Google Day, everyone.
Yeah, Google Day, right? We also got Garni. How's it going, Garni?
All right. How you guys doing today?
Super. And Keon, our resident troll from the chat, is with us again live in person. How's it going, man?
I'm doing amazing. I'm alive.
All right. That's always a plus. So let's get to it. Today, Google released a lot of their, you call it Series 2 made by Google devices, right? And they kept touting their big focus of AI plus software plus hardware. What do you guys think about that strategy?
It's a winning strategy.
Javon?
That is, I mean, we've always been preaching about software and hardware, and because that is the key to making a good product, whether it's a service or a piece of hardware. But when it comes to actually AI being the next generation of what we're going to be using in our daily lives, you have to have AI plus hardware plus software, all from a first-party perspective in order to be successful, and they're just doing it first. So, good job.
What do you think, Garni?
Well, the fun thing is that they're putting AI everywhere, right? They're every interface, every interaction. They started off with, having an intelligent thermostat, the Nest, right? And then they grew from there to the home and the Google Assistants. And now, think about this. Everything that they talked about today had AI associated with it, machine learning. It's learning about you to help you. So that's pretty exciting for me, is that the Google Assistant truly is going to be your assistant. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. So Keon, do you think any company right now is better at executing this strategy than Google?
Better, no. Google has definitely always been a software first company, which has helped them in their struggle to become whatever they're trying to do now, because all of their products have machine learning and AI behind it. So everything you do is constantly learning about you and what you prefer, which helps you out for the next day and the day after. So yeah, there are other companies out there, even Apple does machine learning, but it's just not to Google's level.
Definitely not. So going into the home first, we had they kind of did a review of what they've been doing in the home, talk about Google Wi-Fi being the number one, all these number one things. I'm not sure what they meant, but I think the number one selling mesh router since its release last fall. I think that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
And is that worldwide? Is that US? Probably US.
I don't think it's anywhere else.
Right. Yeah. So I take these kind of claims with a little bit of grain of salt, but the truth is that it's doing very well. They came in and they're kind of dominating to a large degree. If not dominating, they're really now in the mesh, Wi-Fi ecosystem. On top of that, of course, their Google Home device has been doing very well, recognizing their voices, and now we got not one but two new Google Home devices. We have the Mini and the Max. Get it started. Who wants to talk about the Mini?
Mini versus Max. You know what's neat about this is that what's exciting me is the Mini and its price point, right? It removes the cost barrier to entry. What I mean by that is, hey, it's inexpensive enough to get it into anyone's hands. It could be a gift, it could be a birthday gift. But if you've got an Android device and you like working the Google ecosystem and you like to have an assistant in your bedroom or in your kitchen or wherever, I mean, this is a great little device to have around your house. Now, a lot of people are going to be talking about, oh, how is it compared to the Echo Dot or, the Alexa stuff? Well, if you're using Google's ecosystem and you're using the assistant in any way, why would you use another system, use another environment? So for me, I'm excited because not just I have two home devices now, that if I could populate 2 or 3 more in the house, with a device all over the place, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be happy. That's to me, that's what's important. $50.
Now, $50, right? $49.99. Now, what I did see is that Walmart, of all people, they've been partnering with Google, right? They're having a sale. You buy it from them or through like Google Express, Walmart, you get $25 off a Google Home, which would include the Google Home Mini.
But it happens with the next one. You have to buy one first, and then your next one is $25 off.
Oh, the next one?
Yeah, next one. So not the first.
That one half off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
even
still.
You get two for $75.
Two. That's two for $75. So that's still, not bad.
Not bad. All right, so guys, tell me, what am I losing if I buy this Mini versus getting the Home, which is right now looking at $120 at a base price?
You're looking at, honestly, lack of base. That's really about it. For what the early consensus is that, but like I said, besides the fact this is a digital assistant, this is a really good speaker and or telephone replacement right now, or landline replacements. And so, the Home is great. It sounds pretty good. For what it is, slightly bigger, and the cost is not even that much, honestly. But like Garni said, getting this whole, I guess entry level point for the Google Home at being $50, you're not losing anything. Whether even if you already own a Google Home Mini, you're not losing anything. Adding another one to like your bathroom to listen to podcasts, or one in your kitchen to talk on the phone. You know what I'm saying? And to call somebody, or if you're using one just for music, I wouldn't say primarily for music, but compared to the Echo Dot, it's a much better sounding speaker for music. So honestly, you're not losing much going in any direction with the Home Suite, whether you're going for the Mini, their standard Home, which the Mini's been named for it now, and the Max.
Has anybody used the Google Home to make phone calls yet?
Not
yes, yet. And it sucks now because it doesn't have the number thing. So you call somebody using an unknown number. Although that's about to change starting this week.
That's new, right?
Yeah. Because I just noticed the other day or last week, I used mine to call my family because, it's sitting right here at my desk. I'm looking at it, and I can call my wife or my kids. And I found out that if you go into your homes, the Home app on your phone, and, if you pull up your cell device and you go to the Home app, you can turn on now. Now, you might want to check, but I could now check to use my Google Voice number.
Yeah.
So that's
I remember that, but hopefully now is this still Google Voice number? I hope they didn't put that on the table. Are we able to use our standard cell phone numbers, or are we using our Google Voice number?
I haven't tried it.
They made it sound like it'll use your current number, like your cell phone number.
The new update, I think, will enable cell phone use, like your actual number.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. So, any other new Home features that you guys were excited about, as far as just the Home functionality?
Yeah, they got way better again, of course, with voice recognition, for the fact that they can now do voice match for device contacts. Like I said, we were talking about calling. When you say call blah blah, it knows who is talking for one and whose contacts they should be searching in order to get the number, and then display the right number for who they're calling. Like, that's pretty stinking impressive. We already knew from last year they were going to be really good at multi-user support with their voice recognition, but now they're adding more stuff. So now they're adding voice recognition controls to kids support. So that way, who the parent is, who the kids are, if you say like, hey, what's going on, the integration with Nest, and the Nest doorbell and the Nest cameras, it's just, they've added so many. I want to say the word skills because that's Alexa thing, but they've added so many features to Google Home that I really feel like Home is slightly becoming. I mean, because Alexa, it's great. So Home is starting to become great right now, and I'm really impressed with the direction and the features. And it's feature packed, man. We have family link support stuff now, and the broadcast feature. We can now say something. And to it, like whether you're physically in a room or you're using your Google Assistant, and then you can just be like, hey, call, say so and so, wake everybody up or whatever, and it broadcasts to every Google Home on the family network. It's freaking cool, man.
Yeah. The thing that impressed me was that they now have support for Family Link features with the Google Assistant, with the home devices. So kids under 13 can have their own account and can access all these new features that they've added for the family. Like there's trivia games, there's learning activities. They can say, you know, musical chairs with their friends, right? So it's all these things that the kids can use this for. And it's, again, an isolated account specifically for children, not an adult account that I have to modify to make work for a child, right? So for me, that's a huge thing, because again, I don't want my son just using it and just, you know, saying whatever, and who knows what's going to come up, right? But it'll know it's him, and it'll have his security profile set up so he can do his kid stuff, and that's it. Don't get too cute.
And we all know what happened last year with the Alexa stuff, right?
Right. He loves talking to her. He will ask her things. Oh my goodness. So that's kind of the rundown of some of the new features and the Mini. Now, Keon, what is so special about this Max thing?
Yes, I'm glad you grabbed me. The Max is supposed to be amazing. I am on the fence about it right now, but it has a lot of speakers, a lot of subwoofers in it. I forgot the exact ratio. I think it's 2 and 3 or 2 and 1. Not sure, but it's definitely a much bigger home device. It's rivaling, to me, it looks like it's rivaling Sonos' Play 5 and Apple's HomePod. Those are supposed to be the more music-focused home assistant devices, which should be amazing because you still have all of the Google Assistant features built in, plus you have this amazing speaker, which if it does, you know, if it is the same of sound quality of the Sonos, it could fill a home. It could fill an apartment easy. So hopefully it's, you know, the sound quality is up there, because that is really what's going to make or break it, because it's a $400 device and it's big. So if this is what you want, and to steer people away from HomePod and steer people away from Sonos and LG and all the other Bose and speakers and out there, you have to make sure sound is #1 priority, because Assistant is miles better than everything else.
Yeah, and I think like most of these modern, you know, speakers now, you know, it's going to sense the room, adjust the sound to fit the environment. You know, kind of the same thing we're hearing from everyone now. You know, do we think the HomePod still has a chance to make it for non-Apple ecosystem users, like people that just want a nice?
You killed the HomePod is for Apple people. So I mean,
yeah, I mean, honestly, if there was a non-Apple person looking at getting the HomePod, there's way too many options now. They're just on paper better than getting the HomePod. You know, Alexa, you know, the Alexa new lineup. We're talking about,
Sonos.
You know, with Sonos. Talking about Google Max. We're talking about like what, Sony, Logitech. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, so I'll reverse it then. I'll bring it back. I'll reverse it. If you were an Apple user, do you get the Google Home Max or do you get the HomePod?
It depends, because I'm an Apple user, but I don't use
right. Well, you're an Apple Music user. That's the question.
Well, yeah, and I don't use Apple Music, nor do I use Siri. So for me, HomePod doesn't make sense. But I still use an iPhone. I still use a Mac. You know, so it just depends on, do you use Apple Music and Siri enough to validate that purchase? Because if you don't, if you're just like me, you know, have an iPhone but use Spotify or use Google Assistant, then HomePod is not what you're going for.
And if you notice, Google talked a lot about Spotify, way more than they talked about Google Play Music, and even they talked about YouTube Music more than they talked about Google Play Music. So they're really trying to hit.
Yeah, they really did mention YouTube Music a lot.
Yeah, they're using key words. They're trigger words. Hey, listen, guys. YouTube, we all like YouTube. Music, oh yeah. Spotify, even the free one. Yeah.
Right.
So get this.
Because Spotify does work with both the free and the premium version.
Yes.
Which is also key.
It does.
So I was just looking on. So for the Google Max being at $399, they got a deal going. If you get the Google Home Max, you get 12 months of YouTube Music for free or ad free.
It doesn't make sense to me, but
which I think that includes the YouTube Red, right? Like that's the whole
with the YouTube Red, exactly.
Oh, okay, so you get music, okay.
So that's how I keep my YouTube Red, is because I'm subscribed to YouTube Music.
Yeah,
right. Just keep it going.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing. Imagine no commercials. You know,
God, that is so much. That's so amazing.
My wife had the trial, right, and she kept saying like, whatever, so it's commercials, whatever. So after that month, she was like,
nope,
I hate these commercials. So because she's on YouTube all the time, all her tutorials and all that stuff. So she's like, this is terrible. So she accidentally let it roll over for this last month.
This last time with her YouTube, she has commercials. I'm just like, no, we can't. I have YouTube Red. Stop what you're doing. I can't do this.
Yeah, it is a problem
right now.
It is a problem. All right, so guys, let's leave the home and let's go to. I know Javon couldn't even wait to talk about this. So Javon, do us the honors and introduce us to
the
PixelBook.
only, first generation PixelBook.
Oh my god! Who went to sleep? Who went to sleep during that part?
Watch out! Yo, PixelBook is here for us people who are looking to get rid of that Mac OS laptop and that Surface Book. Yeah, we're dropping it, guys. We're embracing that Google OS and its integration first-party goodness with AI first. We're talking about the PixelBook at $1,000. And first of all, before y'all start clicking away, how much it's $1,000. Remember, guys,
$1,000.
We're talking about the best hardware built in like the last decade of laptops.
With Chrome OS.
Straight up. Running
Chrome OS.
A much more mature version.
Qualify that like Apple and Google do. This is the best Chromebook that they've made.
Yeah, this is the best Chromebook that's ever been made. All right.
Yep. Right.
Exactly. iPhone out right now. I mean, that's not
right. Yep. In the history of computers, this is the best Chromebook ever.
Now, I was saying before we start talking about the PixelBook and what it can do, let's talk about how it's built. Like, let's talk about the actual PixelBook. We're talking about a 12.5-inch convertible laptop. So this form factor is not new. We've seen it in so many different devices, but Google has perfected something here that I would expect Apple to do, not necessarily Google. And we're talking about a real comfortable tablet form when you fold the laptop down. And it feels natural. And I want to give all shout out to the Pixel C owners out there. Y'all made it happen. All
Can
five
I just
of you guys, including myself.
Javon could be like the Joni Ive of Google. You can just talk about the design. Like
let's talk about the design. It is made with 7,000 grade aluminum. All right? It has a two-tone, or was it two-tone back, whatever. We have glass on the top. For great, now we all know why the design is that way, for great cellular reception. As we all know,
you can drop your Chromebook and break the glass.
I mean, want it to look like the phone. That's why it's there.
This is the strongest Chromebook glass we have ever made.
I bet.
I tell you right now, this is off the chain. We're talking about a really good Super Mega Retina HD display. We're talking.
Wait a minute. Back up.
How many pixels on the display, bro?
Jovan.
What's the resolution of that display?
That display is 235 ppi.
Yeah, it's Quad HD. It's Quad HD.
Is it Quad HD?
Yeah. It's a Super Mega Retina display.
Super Mega Retina.
It's Apple, right?
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
I was with you until this whole display.
Yeah. Well, let's be real now. If you ever used any of the Chromebooks before, or the Pixel Chromebooks before, they have had like class-leading displays, really good displays, and these are the same 3:2 aspect ratio, which is perfect for a laptop. And we're talking about great colors, and it has up to like 600 nits of brightness, which is very bright for a laptop. Very, very bright for a laptop. Yeah. Most laptops don't go past like 400, honestly, so it's very, very bright for a laptop. And we're talking about a very they use like a very butterfly style keyboard with a softer keys and a little bit more travel than average, and a perfectly precision glass trackpad. We're talking about the best trackpad on any laptop.
Did he record? He recorded the session and he memorized.
Yeah, I'm saying. I was stopping for a second, Javon. Back to that display conversation. So the Pixel C is 308 ppi. Again, this PixelBook is 235.
Well, I mean, PPI.
It's a 10-inch. It's a 10-inch tablet, the Pixel C.
So it's different when if you go down in screen size, your PPI should be higher if the resolution is the same.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're talking about if you look at a 4K TV, a 16 4K TV, we're looking at like 230 PPI. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the bottom line is that this display is crisp, it's bright, has vivid colors, and it has 85% sRGB. Okay, and Adobe RGB. All right, very good, color accurate. This is the best Chromebook ever made.
Devon, I got a situation here for you. So you've got customers out there who can go out and buy between a $200 and $500 Chromebook, like a normal Chromebook plus. Samsung Plus comes with the pen already built in. You don't have to pay an extra $100 for it. You have decent, $700 to $1,000 Windows computers. You have Macs from $1,200 and above. You have excellent Windows computers from $1,200 and above. Why would somebody pay $1,000 or $1,100 for a Chromebook, even though it is the best Chromebook in the world? Remember, it is a Chromebook and it can only do so much. Rather than buying, let's say, the $500 Chromebook Plus from Samsung, or just spending an extra $100 and getting a Mac or Windows.
You know what, Keon? I thank you for answering that question. Now, I want to bring up this Chromebook is specifically targeted. All right, specifically targeted for the Chromebook professional. All right, we're talking about.
Oh my God!
Wait. Chromebook professional.
Who is a Chromebook professional?
For that Chromebook user who needs to plug in his camera, right, and wants to offload a whole bunch of photos to fill that baseline 128 gigabytes of storage. Yeah, we're talking about you, and we're talking about 8 gigs of RAM, something that not even Microsoft laptop can do. Their $1,000 entry laptop is 4 gigs of RAM.
Well, I never support Microsoft anyway, so
an i5. We're talking about a faster clock i5.
But we know how much RAM Chrome takes.
Right, so throwing 8 to that thing is
at least 8 gigs. Like what?
he said gigs. Honestly, though, we're talking just from a design standpoint. Before we even go into the Pixel Pen and all that stuff, this is really like a stupendous hardware right here. I am so happy with the hardware. We're talking about a great overall laptop, famous design, even at the i7 level. Google's put a lot of attention to detail here, and this is the laptop for that Chromebook, for that Chromebook professional user, and whoever you are, I guess I'm going to create this category. So I am now a Chromebook professional.
All right, Devon. So look, I'm going to bring in Garney here for a second. So Garney, looking at this, you are our enterprise expert, right? So obviously, $1,000 is not classroom, right? Where do you see this fitting? Devon says the Chromebook professional. Who do you see this Chromebook being for? Is it for my grandmother?
Oh no! Oh no! You get her a Chromebook Plus, or get a Samsung or an Acer for those. I mean, I had the Chromebook, the Chromebook Pro from Samsung, and it was a beautiful device. Loved it. Took it around for about a month wherever I went. What I found was limiting from a traveling professional in the office and things like that. Remember the old haunting, you need to be connected all the time to use a Chrome OS. Well, what I like about what the Pixel can do is automatically connect to your Pixel phone to tether. I mean, that's what to me it was like, okay, instead of trying to manually connect and create a new hotspot on my phone and then make those connections, if you don't have a Wi-Fi to get connected to, it connects automatically. That's convenience. For $1,000, or let's say you throw in the pen, another $100, I believe. It's an awesome pen. It's an awesome looking device. It's light. It's compact. But if $1,100, guys, that's a little steep. Now, if you've got the means, I bet you, the best part about it is if you're an enthusiast to have that seamless integration between Chrome OS and the Google Play Store, you're going to get it, because this is going to be the best of the best out of all the platforms that they have for from Acer to Asus to whoever makes the next Chromebook, this is going to be the Cadillac or the cream on the top when it comes to that integration between Chrome OS support and the Google Play Store. So that's who I see is enthusiasts. I really do, because it's really not meant for the masses. Think about the previous Pixels, that have been out there, previous Chromebooks that they came out with. They were meant for the enthusiasts, the ones who would I would say broach that gap, who would bleeding edge type scenario. Those are the guys who will get this, like Javon.
Right. So okay, guys. So looking at it from maybe a security perspective, if you want a high quality, good spec laptop, but you're leery of the security aspects of, say, even Mac OS or Windows.
Yeah, Mac firmware has been known to be.
Does it make sense to get a Chromebook, or in this case, the PixelBook? Kian, what do you think?
Oh no, I was just pointing out Javon, telling him to hush his mouth if he's talking about Macs. I mean, security wise, I'm not the best person to talk about security. We all know Windows devices get whatever. We all know Mac devices can get normally less than Windows, but they still get attacked. So it's like whatever. Chrome OS, I haven't seen anything really happen, and I don't know really what can happen to Chrome OS, especially with Google always throwing these like competitions to see, crack our Chrome OS and we'll give you $5,000 so we can fix it. So, I mean, as far as the security perspective, if you're that heavy into worrying about security, I guess Chrome would be good compared to, say, Windows, even Mac at certain points. But I think if you're that worried about security, you're going to like some type of
Red Hat.
Yeah, some type of backwoods Linux.
Black Hat,
like.
DEFCON,
You're not doing
Russia.
Normal stuff.
Well, you're gonna,
Right.
when you talk about security, you're still gonna have. If you're worried about, the security of, let's say, you're dealing with your company information, you're still gonna have your VPN.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be your first barrier, right? Then you can have. Now there's steps that are out there that are beyond. You remember the old token keys that had the numbers scrolling across?
RSA tokens, old school.
Old school, but they now have, now they can do it here on your phone. It can actually be biometrics and all that good stuff. But what I like is that, there's usually one and sometimes two levels of authentications to get in, not just a user ID and password, but again, the tokens to get into the VPN. So when it comes to apps, that's the key thing. And so what I see, and I like the idea around the Chrome OS, is that I love using my phone. And if I could do most, if not all of my business on my phone, let's say Salesforce has an app out here, right? If I'm doing customer entries, customer management, sales executions, or anything else like that on my phone, the Pixel will be perfect because it's a full-size keyboard and it gives you that screen, right? So there's a huge benefit.
Yes.
But that's a benefit of Chrome OS, not necessarily, the Pixelbook, but the more and more as we go along, most of the Chrome OS books are what? Celeron processors still, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. The top ones, or even what is
some i5s in the old Pixels.
Yeah, so i5s.
Yeah. We have the
i3s.
M series as well.
Yeah, i3s in like the Chrome Pro. I mean the Chromebook Pro from Samsung. They are not the powerhouses of having a i5 or an i7 chipset in there. Will you ever need that much in a Chrome or an Android device? I don't know, but you've got plenty of horsepower to do that. So there's a huge amount of benefit, but that cost, that's I mean, if Javon sends me a check for $1,000, I'll buy one.
So.
Yeah, I probably still wouldn't buy one personally.
Oh my God.
I mean, if someone gave me one, I wouldn't sell it. I would actually keep it.
No, I'd sell it.
Not so with, say, the iPhone 10, but
he's gonna
we're not there today.
Drop off on Swap.
I have like 4 computers around here, so I definitely don't have a need for Chrome OS. That's just me personally.
Well, I travel a lot, so
Right,
having something that's a kilo, that's 1 kilo, 1 kilogram. I mean, it's like, that's light, and if it folds and it's only 10 millimeters thick, something really, really paper thin. I think that's what the specs say.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. I mean, I cannot see something wrong with it. I just trying to figure out who needs it when you already have a phone.
Shameless plug. Check out Christian's larger video.
But we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys.
Garney at the enthusiast device.
Yeah, for sure. This will be tagged a Jovan device.
And also, so really quick before we go on, I want to mention the Pixel Pen. So you can circle anywhere on the screen and automatically summon Google Assistant and contextually aware of what's on the screen. And you can also have like a 2,000 bits of pressure to go walk on stylus, whatever. Super awesome stylus. Still not worth $100 for any stylus, but I'm going to get one anyway.
Of course.
I would tell you that, that's one of the nice things that we have with the Chromebook Pro was that it came with a pen, right? But it wasn't, up to the thousands of points of sensitivity and things like that. It was
an S Pen. Yeah.
It's just an S Pen, right? It's basically taking the Galaxy Note and blowing it up. Having used the Surface Pro and the Surface Pro 4, the Surface 4, and the actual iPad, the large one, the 12-inch one, with the pen. The key things behind all of that, everybody's trying to mimic the actual handwriting experience from that. So the question will be, will we have to start teaching everyone how to write cursive again, or printing again? How useful is that? I mean, think about your mouse versus a pen. When you use a pen, how useful will that be? Now, if you're an artist or you do a lot of visuals or an architect who have to make changes, or you do document editing when you want to do it on the fly, pen's perfect, man. It really is. I mean, when I had the Chrome OS with a pen from Samsung, I was using the pen a lot. So, Jovan, I'm glad you're going to get the pen because you're going to get a lot of use out of it, and it's fun. I will have to admit, it was fun being able to bring up a sketch pad or something like that and just draw. That was kind of neat.
Sounds good. So, look, let's move on to our next Jovan device. This is the Google Clip.
Oh, yeah.
So this thing is a little camera thing that basically you sit somewhere and the AI will automatically take animated GIFs for you and then save them, and you can then upload them to your Google Photos later and keep those. Is that sound about right, guys, or am I missing something?
Yeah. I'm surprised you're not into it, Christian, because it seemed like it was definitely pointed for families. I mean, I don't know. I just know you got a family, man. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, sits somewhere, and it will decide which clips to take based off of machine learning, right? And then I'm like, oh, thanks. It took, this clip of 5 seconds over here, or 2 seconds, however long it is, right? It's not even video.
I feel like you can activate and tell it, hey, I need to start taking clips like around here, this time period or something. But I mean, maybe. I don't see a use for it for me, but I don't have a family and my pet doesn't do anything. So I don't really, I don't really care.
I was excited. All right, Jovan. So you the baby gonna use this?
I don't know, man.
You are, aren't you?
I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. It was in the cart and then it was out. Put it that way. I'm not. See, the thing about the Google Clip is that it's not a GoPro like type of thing. They're not targeting. Hey, this is a rugged pixel camera wherever you go. You know what I mean? This is a machine learning, face recognition. It can recognize everything about you and your family, and knows when to take the right photo, what time to take the right photo. When to be not creepy, and and put on the light, let you know, hey, we're watching you temporarily taking a photo. Just everything's cool. So Google did a lot to make it sound not creepy. It's still creepy, right? They said a lot. They were like, listen, this is not weird, I swear. But it's still kind of weird to a degree. Now, that being said, the guy that's like, hey Google, here's all my data. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the same time, I would try this out, but not at the price point they're asking for. I just think $250 for me is just it. They haven't sold me on the benefit yet, so I want to see how other people use it, and this is going to drop in price because I have a good feeling this is going to be one of those Google 2018 discontinued products. You know what I mean? So
if they wait that long.
Well, I mean, right. I mean, but we know this is going to drop eventually in price. There's no way they're going to, and that's why this is no Pixel on this name. This is a Google product, meaning this is going to have its time and day. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't have enough to talk about. It's still weird, right? And they spent too much time saying why this is not creepy and how this is, rather than how this can really benefit you as someone who needs to take 7-second videos. Like they brought Vine back essentially, but nobody uses Vine.
It's because they know it's creepy. Like it sits there, just watches you, and like it knows which ones to take. Like I don't even. But what does that even mean?
But granted, though, it's all locally based, so they're very clear. Like, listen, this is not going to like some Google Cloud server. This is all machine learning physically on the device. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's. Right.
I don't know. It won't sync until you tell it to sync.
Yeah, and people know this, right? No matter how you tell people this is not creepy, just human nature, because of things like, you know, what's that movie? What's the T, man? Terminators, right? This is, people are like, oh, this is creepy. This is Skynet. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I think it's just cool to say, like, let's just let it chill for a little bit, and we'll see how it turns out. In a couple months, we'll probably revisit this again.
Sounds good, man. I think we said enough about that because that's boring. So, on to the exciting stuff. The one thing I think we were for certain was going to happen today was the Pixel 2.
Let's go.
Who wants to take us through some of these specs?
Keon.
No, I'm not a spec guy. I'm a blow your face away guy.
Got any those specs?
All right,
yeah, I don't have the spec in front of me.
All right, so we got first off the Pixel. So they have two phones, right? It's the Pixel 2 and the Pixel XL2. Basically, the Pixel 2, when you think about it, it's a 5-inch screen. It does have some chins on, it's a bezels on the top and bottom, but basically you're looking at a 5-inch screen with a 2K or 1080. I'm sorry, a 1080 display with about a 16:9 resolution or 16:9 resolution with a Snapdragon 835 processor. So again, you've got basically this is where Google has come laggard in the area because the OnePlus 5 already had and that came out quite a few months ago with the 835. It's got plenty of RAM. You can get it in a 64 gig version or 128 gig version for that. What's really neat is both of these phones are coming with exclusive deals with Verizon. But what I love what Google has done with this. So if you went to go buy the Pixel 2 from Verizon and you decide to leave Verizon, guess what? You can just plug a T-Mobile chip in there and be rocking. You're not tied to a proprietary network with that. So that's really neat. Now, what I purchased now, so I bought today the XL2, and I'm excited for this one because it is a full 6-inch screen, and yeah, it's a 2880 by 1440 screen. It's big. I mean, it's big. It's going to be bigger than the iPhone 10. I mean, that's it. The 5 iPhone 10 is not the screen. When you actually look at the screen itself, it has a higher resolution than the iPhone 10. But what's really captivating for me is keeping up with the hype from when Pixel first came out. Remember when we had the cameras? So the cool things about both of these phones, they have the same cameras between each other. So if you bought the XL2 or just the Pixel 2, they have the same back cameras and the same front cameras. So they're 12.2 megapixels on the back and 7 megapixels on the front. And what's really neat, 8 megapixels on the front. What's really neat is that instead of having two lenses, it has one lens. And what's important here is the pixels inside the lens itself has two micropixels. So what Google has done is engineered, instead of having two lenses on the back to capture, it's built into the sensor. So each pixel inside that, each micron pixel has two sensors within that, which is pretty amazing if you think about that. They engineered the camera to one lens, but yet still has the capabilities to collect more information because they doubled the amount of sensors per pixels. That's what's really, really neat. Now, of course, the fun thing is some of you guys who may use the iOS know that, you know, when you take a picture, sometimes it captures 3 seconds before or a couple of seconds before the actual clip. This time, it's the same thing. The software is going to be there. The optical image stabilization is still part of this. So you're going to be able to get crisp videos without having all that jerky motion that goes along with it. The rear cameras can do 4K at 30 frames per second. The front cameras can do 1080 at 30 frames per second from that. So still good quality, and we're looking forward to all that. The last thing I would talk about, and I'm finally glad this is going to happen. When it rains, I hide my phone in my jacket. Well, now we could say you can actually hold it out and somebody splashes you, or you get a little water when it's on the sink or in the kitchen. You don't have to be scared to death. You don't have to throw it in a bowl of rice immediately. These are IP67 splash resistance, which is really good. It's not waterproof, but it's really good. And lastly, the batteries. The Pixel 2 comes with a 2700 milliamp hour battery, and the XL2 comes out with a 3520 milliamp hour battery, which is really, really cool. So those are the rundown of the quick specs on the Pixel 2 phones.
Thank you, sir. Lots of new stuff. Sounds good. What I appreciated was that what I appreciated and didn't appreciate is that the Pixel 2, the smaller version, the bezels look very much like the phone I have now, the Pixel, top and the bottom. They reserved their thin bezel for the XL. That made me a little bit sad, but
it's on purpose now.
We'll get there. Because they made a huge point of kind of pointing out that the two phones were the same phone, like has the same stuff, same camera, same internal framework. Like it's the same phone except for this bezel issue. So beyond that, same phone, just a different size.
But the size is, as I said, remember this, right? This was similar in the pre-shows that at 5 inches, if you were to reduce the bezel, the physical footprint of the phone would have to shrink, right? And the problem is just components at that small of a size. So Google would have had to go to a 5.5 inch display to go with the thinner bezels in order to have a smaller footprint size phone. And I just don't think Google's ready to go to that size screen yet when it comes to AMOLED display technology and how it's just getting harder to engineer still this bezel-less design. Or close to bezel.
Even if they change the screen ratio?
If they would have went 18:9 on a 5-inch display, you're talking about a phone the size of an iPhone SE. Like that's a very small phone. And just, that means the battery would have to shrunk to 1900 milliamps, something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot more phone screen to cover and less technology to boot inside it. It's just, I get why they did this. I mean, it's not an attractive move, but it's a very form to function type of move, and I think it's good.
Speaking of, hold up. Speaking of form to function, people. Headphone jack.
Oh my god!
Talk to me.
Oh my god!
Headphone jack.
Hey, it's in the box.
Right.
Headphone jack.
It's gone.
Say goodbye to my bows.
Why?
Ken.
Why? Because why not, man?
Everybody's
doing it.
Well, the question is, I mean, are you still wanting to go with the analog, wired headsets? Which
yes.
I just like the wired headsets. I don't know. It's just easier.
They gave you an adapter. You're good.
Man,
a hi-fi adapter at that. Okay. Great.
Yeah, but I'm sure, like you guys, I have many headsets.
First of all, your music's still gonna be your music. There's a couple of things about that though. One, I personally, for me, I don't really care if there's a headphone jack or not. I don't use wired headphones with my phones. I do use wired headphones, but they're attached to an amp and a jack, so I'm not. That's when I'm mobile. I'm using Bluetooth headphones or I'm using my phone speakers because it doesn't matter as much to me. Two, I don't know if you guys saw the price, but Google's adapter costs like $29 or $20, whereas Apple's only costs $7. I'm not saying Apple's is doing it right. I'm just saying, like, come on, Google, you're not. I don't know what you're trying to do here.
Well, remember this. I mean, like I said, how many of you guys have used the adapter with the Essential phone? Very high quality. Very phone.
Didn't use
the phone or the adapter.
The adapter. The adapter.
How many of you guys have the Essential phone? Is the real question.
Yeah, right.
5,000 people.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm one of them. All right. But listen, regardless, all right. You know, it's. I think the headphone jack is not a move that should garner so much hate. We've seen it already with last year with the iPhone. We've seen Motorola do it already this year. We've seen, Apple commit to it again this year. And yes, Samsung has it. Yes, but Samsung's audio quality hasn't changed since the Galaxy S6. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we're not gaining anything besides convenience here by keeping the headphone jack. We're talking about, the ability, remember, with USB-C, talking about native FLAC, okay? So drivers, headphones that can power and drive, and drive headphones that are standardly better than what you would get out of a normal headphone jack. Now, we're not LG V30 excluded, okay? Most headphone jacks and phones don't power great headphones. It needs more power. USB-C will power those headphones. Remember, we're talking about phones, AirPods that have like essentially, little AirPods, little earbuds that can, essentially power with noise cancellation via USB-C. So you can still use headphones, and Google is selling and highlighting the fact that there are plenty of headphones you can buy with USB-C if you want a wired headphone experience. But if you want wireless, there's not only, a Bluetooth, but there's also Bluetooth with Google Assistant and all the AirPod type of stuff going around. So, I mean, there's solutions. I think headphone jack is dying. We all know this already. Rest in peace. Good luck.
I think most of the hate comes from people who do still use wired headphones, want to listen to music and charge their device at the same time. That's what I hear people all the time. In that case, I will say Google does sell an adapter with 2 ports.
It's like $50, right?
But it's $50 if you want to do that.
Crazy.
But know what's going to happen.
It's kind of like one of those things with Apple. Like Apple had the 30-pin and then they moved to Lightning. You just kind of have to go with it. It's like you can hate it all you want, but it is what it is for right now. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Wait a few months, and guarantee you the market. Go to Amazon. You're going to find some knockoffs. For less than $20. And,
I mean, and
that's a good idea.
Last year, what did we all say? We all sat here last year, and we were all like, "Oh, remember Google's little thing in the Pixel commercial? It's like, oh, we have a headphone jack." And what did we all say? I mean, yeah, is that a selling point? And everyone was like, no. It's good, but it's not a selling point at this point.
I don't think it's a selling point or a make it or break it point to say that a phone doesn't have a headphone jack. But there are people that I know, like personal friends, that say they will not buy a phone without a headphone jack. Like he already denounced the Pixel. And that's cool, but eventually I feel like most 90% of all phones are going to come out without a headphone jack.
I think it's right. So, here's the question, right? Is a headphone jack more important than great software? Is a headphone jack more important than a great camera? Is a headphone jack more important than good battery life? Like these are what we're talking about.
False argument.
You got the Note and the V30. Those both have great cameras, great displays, great software,
but
and
not Pixel level great displays, great camera, and great software. Yeah.
Here's the thing. If they took away the headphone jack, if the phone came with some Bluetooth earbuds, I might think a little bit differently, right? Because again, like the iPhones come with these here headphones. I'm using these for my old iPhone. They come with these, and you use them, and it's fine, right? If you said, okay, we'll take away the headphone jack, but here's some headphones included, not the best, but they're Bluetooth, go for it. I think people will be like, okay, fine, I guess I'll use these.
Well, buy
a whole new set of stuff because you took away my headphone jack.
Well, if they threw in, I mean, like for example, last year when Echo came out with their S3 phones and things like that, and the Pro phones, they actually supplied you a headphone jack that was USB-C because it didn't have a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. So yeah, that would have been really nice. That would have been a nice little touch, right? It's like, well, here's a pair of earbuds for you, and like Javon said, or was it Keon, where you go to Amazon, you can pick up a nice pair of headsets that are USB-Cs for that. So I mean, the market already has it out there.
JBL Aware C, yeah. $50 on Amazon on sale.
I'm an audio snob, so I won't say anything about JBL Aware C when I have like Sennheiser right there, just looking.
I'm just saying, man. Noise canceling, great drivers. It's a very good experience for the $50.
Right.
The silence.
Right.
The Sony Mark II 1000X, Christian, those things sound incredible, and they will work with your Pixel because it's wireless. Look at that. And then you could charge and listen to music at the same time.
Yeah.
Boom. Look at that.
What about the Pixel?
I just don't want to charge anything else. I'm tired of charging stuff.
Speaking of charging, right?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of making or breaking things such as the headphone jack, does anybody care? I don't. I'll go ahead and say I don't care. Anybody care that the Pixel doesn't have wireless charging?
No.
I care, not because I think it's a must-have, but because I feel like
at $1,000 it needs to.
It seems like Google keeps, I don't know if they're being lazy. I don't know what their issue is. Like, why they keep just like not doing stuff, like stuff they used to do. They're just like, no, we're not gonna do it anymore, and we're gonna charge more for the phone. Like, do what everyone else is doing. Just do it. It's not hard.
Google wants to honestly change the direction like Apple does. They can't, but they want to change the direction like Apple does. So when they stop wireless charging,
that's all they're doing.
Right, when they stop wireless charging, right? Well, they expected Samsung and everyone to follow suit. Listen, guys, fast charging. This actually matters, and it does. Wireless charging is convenient, but it's also inconvenient. You know what I mean? So, having fast wired charging, right, was great. And then Samsung's like, yeah, we're gonna stick to wireless. We'll make glass back phones and whatever. And the Pixel is also unique to its design, a two material back, glass and aluminum. So, for that design going forward, and I'm assuming at least the next 3 years, that's gonna be the design of the Pixel. It's physically, unless wireless chargers get really powerful, it's physically impossible to add that right now with aluminum. So for Google, they don't really care, and they haven't cared since the Nexus 6. So because they said the 4, the 5, the 6, and they could have added wireless charging in the 5X. They didn't. They didn't care because the baseline for Google is if you want to charge your phone, charge it fast with USB-C. Everything else, it doesn't matter. It's not there yet. Even when Apple pushes the bar and it has great wireless charging, all these glass back phones like Samsung, right? At the end of the day, is it going to charge faster than plugging it in with a Lightning to USB-C port? No.
No, I make a joke about that. I was like, Apple, welcome to 2015, with that wireless charging, because we had that, like you said, back at the Nexus 5 and all that other good stuff. And the important thing for me, I need that quick charge. I'm always on the go. I'm always moving around. It's always, if I could take it out of my pocket for more than 30 minutes, I'm looking for it. The wireless charging would be nice if it was next to your bedstand. It's there. It's going to be there for a long while. Mm-hmm. But I'm always going to meetings. I'm always moving around. So a 15-minute charge is priceless, and you can't get that from a wireless charging. You got to plug that in. So,
you have a OnePlus, right?
Yeah, the OnePlus 5, the dash charging is essential.
I think Google's going in that direction. They're more focusing on.
Why didn't they get there already?
Huh?
Why aren't they already there, Jovan? Why are they going somewhere and they're not there yet?
Proprietary.
Oh, everybody's covered. Shots fired.
Listen. Bulk charging is proprietary. It's not Google's fault. Okay, they have to come up with their own engineering to beat OnePlus's fast charging. That issue is like way too good. So let's be real now. Okay, so realistically, Google will eventually come up with something that would be just as good as their rapid turbocharger. And like I said,
do you guys have the 15-watt or the 18-watt charger?
18.
Yeah, the 18
and 24.
Okay.
I do want to say one thing, Christian. I feel like recently what Google has done with the Pixel and then with these Pixel 2s, they're moving up. They for the Nexus, they were like, hey, we were doing budget phones, we were doing enthusiastic phones, we were doing our own thing down here in the corner while other companies were making it big, but we want to do our own big thing now. And instead of year over year slightly going higher and higher, and slightly lowering price, slightly adding features, slightly doing this and that. They just said, hey, that's old us, this is new us. That was down here, this is up here. This is what we're doing now. We're not going middle of the road. We're not doing low, high end. We're strictly doing high end. We're strictly doing our stuff. And this is what we feel is best for you. And it's going to come to a premium because this is our baby. And it's kind of like a shell shock for some of us old Nexus lovers and old, Google lovers because of what we were used to. But it's kind of the thing now. I mean, they're not going to be including things like waterproofing the first time because I don't know why. That was just a dumb move. But right. Wireless charging is not a thing they're going to be focused on probably ever again unless it gets super better, which I doubt it will be. So it's just like it's their thing now, and we kind of just have to follow in line or go with the V30 or the Note 8 or whatever other phones out there.
I have to think that now that Apple has backed the Qi standard, which Qi was already more or less the standard anyway. But now that Apple has backed it, I feel like we may get some more movement and more innovation in that area. Potentially. Now, again, it's not as fast, but again, this isn't about fast. It's about convenience, right? You come home, put it on your desk, pretty soon maybe this whole side of the desk is just for charging stuff, right? I sit over here and then it's fine. And then I pick it up and leave and it's been charging, I don't know. I just feel like I don't like companies that do stuff for the sake of doing it or for the sake of being not like somebody else, right? Right. And that's what Apple feels like they do a lot. Now I feel like Google is doing the same thing. So that's what bothers me. That's all.
I agree with that sentiment normally, like change just for the sake of change. And I feel Jovan knows this, but for me, change for the sake of change is not cool. But sometimes you just gotta follow in line, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, let's say we've been here already with Google. So remember, Google was pushing this hard. Remember Nexus 7, Nexus 10, like everything at one point had wireless charging. They built first-party wireless chargers. They really gave a crap about it. And then until they realized that, according to the analytics, no one wirelessly charged because it just wasn't that good then. And like I said, if you have non-contact wireless charging, it doesn't work. They can go through aluminum or whatever. Sure, Google will include it, right? Because it makes sense, right? But right now with the current design of the Pixel, you're not going to redesign a whole phone just to, when you're trying to build brand awareness on top of that. Where the Pixel design is iconic right now, you're not going to redesign a phone to glass just so you can add wireless charging.
Right. Well, there's also third-party solutions that are out there. You still go out and find the Taiwanese companies or the Chinese companies where you can actually plug in. It's actually a little mat. So a lot of us have cases on our phones, right? So instead of it being inside the body of the phone, it will be between the body of the phone and the case. And so you can actually have an underlay there which plugs into the USB-C or Lightning and then charge your device that way from a legacy standpoint, which I've done before. I had old Motorola's which weren't wireless charging. I bought the pads, plugged it into the device, and was able to use my wireless chargers that I had for my Nexus devices. So, I mean, there's ways around that. But for me, I just go with the sentiment of, yes, maybe that was a nice, neat thing. It was neat. It was fun. Analytically, maybe not everybody used it or took advantage fully of it. To me, unless they can come back with something that's equal to the Google's, fast charging or like the OnePlus Dash charging, I need that. I need that quick charge capability and things like that. But speaking of old stuff, before I forget, guys, here on my table is my old Nexus 6P. And it's not wireless charging, but as you can see, it's being charged right now because I've got to wipe the device. And when you buy from Google's store, the new Pixel 2 phones, you can actually trade in your old Nexus devices, or your previous Pixel phone on there. And this particular Nexus 6P is estimated around $165 if I traded it in. So that's pretty cool. It's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere. Can't get anything on Swappa for it. So trading in at $465.
Here's what I'll say to that. And this is some advice that I want you to take. And remember, although I'm saying this, I will retract my entire statement when I'm done. Claim warranty report and get that shit fixed and replaced from Google, they'll send you a Pixel 2 XL, trade that in for $460. Right? I'm just saying. They're replacing.
Apparently, going on that people with 6Ps have been trading their phones in for under warranty and getting pixels back.
Yeah, man, it's the truth.
Well, yeah, and I know, but see, unfortunately, when I called Google and said I need to replace, the first thing was, do you have a boot loop problem? I can't lie to those guys. No, I don't have a boot loop.
I can create a boot loop problem if that's what you need.
Right? Hey, yeah, let me grab one of those ROMs online. Yeah, sure.
You said don't do this. Oh crap! I did it.
Honestly, they can't tell if you have a boot loop problem or not, because boot loop things are just issues where it may be working one moment and it doesn't at the other time. One boot loop is inconvenience enough to call for warranty repair, honestly.
And for anybody out there watching, for that trade-in program, you can trade in non-Google devices. So if you have Samsung S7s or LG V10s or whatever, you can trade in some device. I think they're limited to the past 2 years of stuff, so don't try to go in with like a Fascinator or something. But definitely, if you have something recent you want to trade in, you can go in and get some money, but obviously Google's products get you more money. So
a lot more money.
Yep,
a lot. Honestly, that $460 trading was kind of impressive. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Versus an S8, which is $180.
Right. What? It blew my mind. They're like, get your cheap crap out of here, Samsung. Terrible.
All right, Javon. So let's go over this last piece of hardware from today. These little cute Pixel Buds that you ordered.
Hey.
Yes. So
what are the Pixel Buds? You called them AirPods. Why?
They're AirPods. Okay, guys, these are better AirPods, but they're AirPods without the fully wireless practicality of like having that loop in the back. Okay,
but is there a W1 chip though?
Yeah, it's called
D1 chip.
Right? It's a D1 chip, the Google Assistant chip, which works literally the exact same way. It will sync. It's a device. Look at my hat, dude. What the hell? All right, like it will actually work. Okay, first of all, how it works. What is it? The Pixel Buds, first party Google earphones or AirPods. God, I keep saying AirPods. What's the word? Earbuds?
Earbuds.
The earbuds. They act like AirPods, okay? And it's made by Pixel or Google, all right? They come in great colors, all right? Has amazing sound drivers. The design of each one was perfectly handcrafted to fit the ergodynamics of your own ear. It is completely sound sealed. It has noise cancellation, and we're talking about not only a rich sound, but everything comes with the power of the Google Assistant, because we're doing AI, hardware, software.
Oh my god. Okay, so all right. To tear that down, these are also $160 for Bluetooth earbuds, and they are hard plastic. There are no rubber pieces on these earbuds. So take that in mind, because most hard plastic earbuds tend to hurt people's ears. So just take those 2 grains of salt with Javon's magically inspiring earbuds.
Hey, man.
Right.
So was the AirPods, man. These are AirPods, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, they're attached by a string, which helps you to not lose one of them randomly, which I think is very helpful. Because no thanks.
I will say, though, that the translation demo that they did earlier today was one of the best things they showed off today. Yeah. That was incredible.
Yeah, I missed that part. I had to go get a massage at work, so.
Oh, poor
you. Wow. What was you?
Messed up.
You had to get a massage.
It was a 15-minute chair massage. It wasn't even like a full body, whatever.
Just a long time.
But basically, Kristen, they do real-time translation. So if you have somebody talking a different language, you probably press the button or whatever, and it after they finish talking, it relays to you in your native tongue. Which again, it was working fine on stage, but of course, it's not gonna work like that in real life. But
that's what's up.
That was pretty amazing. Like by far, one of the best things of the whole event.
Now, what I also need is a little microphone where I can just talk to, and then it'll talk to them.
That's what it does.
That's the next piece.
It did that, but I'm guessing both people had to have. Google.
That'd be interesting. Now, if they could just talk to each other while we're talking, what? That's like some crazy Star Trek stuff.
It is. I mean, it was pretty neat because, man, I got to use Translate when I was in El Salvador, and it was a godsend. So, I don't speak Spanish, and of course, speaking into just the app itself, being able to speak into it, have it say it to the person I was sharing it with, and they would be able to speak in. Now, of course, I had to switch. They spoke in Spanish, and I was able to hear it in English. So that was pretty cool. And that was what the demo was, that she would speak by pressing the right button on the side. She would be able to speak in Swedish. And then when she let go, the phone via the speakers spoke to the host in English. And so it used the microphone on the phone to listen to English, and then it translated it automatically into her earbuds. So that was pretty neat. I mean, you got a delay of wait till it transcribes and talks to you, but it was pretty impressive.
I will say that the demo of the Pixel Buds actually made me think about assistant-powered earbuds differently, because at first I was like, why do I need, what's the point of assistant? But then when they showed the Pixel Buds, and like, if you're just walking around outside listening to music, you can say, oh, navigate to the donut shop 5 minutes away, and it'll just start saying, okay, turn right, turn left. That's pretty cool. If you're like, I guess for like city, if you're in the city and if you're a mobile person a lot, if you're always on the move, maybe for like Garnier, it could say, appointment in 15 minutes, wrap this up, something like that. If you have a busy day, assistant powered headphones sound pretty good. Sound pretty cool.
Or if you're real nosy and you're on the subway, right? Like, what are they saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. Just point the mic to them,
They'll never know. They'll never know.
Yeah, let's be like I said, and let's talk about like just the basic, purpose for the Pixel Buds or whatever. There's no headphone jack, right? So yeah, here you go, Christian. Here's your first party accessory you've always been talking about since last year. These are your first party headphones.
How much do they cost?
The same price as AirPods.
Here's the thing,
Christian. What did you say last year? We have it on tape.
These cost me $0.
We have it on tape. Christian said last year, why didn't they make an AirPods equivalent? He said, I would have bought one. I would buy the AirPods, but I don't have an iPhone anymore. All right? Should we go back in time?
Roll tape.
Do we roll film?
Roll tape.
Oh, man.
No, seriously, guys. I mean, what I like about this is that this is now the second set of ear devices. Because remember the last week, right? Remember the QC2?
Yep.
They actually have more on the store. If you go on the store, there's a bunch more. I think by Libratone. Libratone will put together several other headphones. Yeah,
but it's kind of neat that it is. I know we wish we could have more speakers with the assistants, and that's why the Google Home is really attracted to us. But imagine having the Quiet Comfort 2 headsets. Quiet Comfort 35 2 headsets. That would be kind of cool, right? To where you could just talk to your headsets, or while you're walking, or if you're traveling, and things like that, and it reminds you, of things, or like I said, get directions, and you don't have to look at your phone.
I was hoping they can do it. See, I thought originally, I didn't really get the whole assistant thing. I thought they could just add it via firmware to the QC35s now, right? It was probably a firmware thing. I didn't know there actually is a Google chip involved that's getting these things, that's processing the data information. It's AI chip, and it's also doing the pairing. Instant pairing, may I add, that we all wanted since we saw this with the W1 chip. So you pair it once, and it can connect to any one of your Google devices just by your Google, by your Gmail account. So instant pairing. There's no fondling around with Bluetooth. It's a cool thing, man. It's cool. I got one. It's awesome, man. You should get one too. Yeah.
And
it's gonna be great. So
and they will work with their non-Pixel devices because it is Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's Bluetooth. Right? Yeah. So you work with your iPhone,
right?
I guess.
Yes, I guess we'll see a review incoming, right, Javon, for these.
Oh, you best believe we got reviews on everything coming. Every item you saw today, there will be review next year.
Yep, because Javon will have every single thing.
Yeah, all the reviews will be done early next year. Yeah.
He's still sending me that check so I can get the
for the PixelBook.
All right, guys, time to wrap it up. So tell me, how do you feel about these new Pixel phones in competition with the new iPhone 10 and Samsung? Where do they sit?
Is this the quick segment?
Wait, who is this?
Yeah, let's just kind of go pretty quick. All right, Javon.
Okay. I think that they're good competition right now for the iPhone 8 and iPhone X, or 10, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And Samsung also great competition. Hardware is way too close between Android phones this year, so they need to be a differentiator. Pixel, camera, software, augmented reality, everything looks to be. You're getting the best of Apple on Android. So yeah, cool. This is awesome.
All right, Garni, what do you think?
The one thing I think that's impressing me is going to be the camera, right? DxO just rated as the top-rated camera.
Again.
So Apple took over for what, a week, 2 weeks?
A week.
And then
then Apple, then Google.
Yeah, exactly. It just keeps bouncing around. But the cool thing is that when you start looking at this, you are confident now that you have a device that can actually be on par with the photographs and the video capabilities of the other ones. Aesthetically, the iPhone 10, I will tell you, it looks great. It's beautiful, right? From almost bezel-less from all corners. But I like the analogy of, hey, the Google Pixel, the 2s are the IKEA of the phones, and you're going to get what we all are excited about is that AI in it. I don't think Siri can catch up with it, even though it's part of the iOS and the Apple hardware. I think Google is definitely ahead of the game here, and we're ready to use it. It's not just a concept to be learned on; it's ready to be used. That's what I'm excited about the phones.
All right, Keon, is the Pixel 2 the new top dog?
Yeah, I think what Google's doing with the Pixel is better than what Apple is doing with their iPhones at this moment, for various reasons. And I think as far as Android goes, the Pixel is the top experience in general. If you're looking for a specific thing, or if you're looking for all the bells and whistles, then there are other devices. But if you want the general top dog for Android, Pixel is the way to go.
That's right.
I've always been a Google guy, though, so I'm not, I'm a fanboy over here.
I am not a fanboy.
Oh,
of course not. Of course not. All right, guys. Well, one last question with a quick round table. How would you rate the event overall, and what was your favorite device? Let's go, Jovan.
Let's see. It started off slow, ended off really positive. I think Google really killed it by not letting a lot of details leak out. That's definitely the most concealed event out of the entire year. I think the best. The phones are of course the best attraction. Then the best item is either the Home Max or the PixelBook. I'm just really a fan of the PixelBook and its design, and the Home Max speaker. I always wanted a better, powerful speaker from Google. So I think this is probably the best event this year. I'm not a fanboy, but just saying, it's a really good event.
All right, Keon, event overall and your favorite device announced today.
Overall, it was a bell curve. Like Jovan said, started off slow. In the middle, when they were talking about all the new stuff, it was great. Then when they ended off with the clips, it faded away because pre-orders had started, and we all heard about the Pixel XL2, which is what we came there for. So at that point, the Pixel buzz were going to decline, and the clips were on the decline, and then whatever, if they said anything after that, it's all on the decline. Favorite device mentioned was the Home Max, because the Pixel is great and all, but the Home Max is something I actually wasn't aware of that they were coming out, especially with the design and what it's supposed to do, and I'm just excited to hear what it sounds like. So Home Max is definitely my most interested device here.
All right, Garni.
I missed when it first went live, I missed it, but I went back and rewatched it, and the consensus is clear, is that it was slow to start and very slow at the end. I felt it was too scripted. You could tell that the product managers or the project leads were robotic in how they had to talk about the project and things like that. And I get that, right? There's so much information, they have to be laser focused on how they present it. My favorite device was obviously the XL2. I was just excited because full 6-inch screen. We haven't seen that in a long time, and being able to have the power behind it with the camera, for me, that was the key thing. I'm excited when they kept talking about AI and machine learning in every aspects of across all their products. And to me, it just tells me that Google's leadership in that, not just, a search engine, but truly going into that, taking all of that intellectual capital they have and moving forward with technologies we can use, not just them, we can use. So to me, it was a cross between the AI and the Pixel 2 XL for me.
Yeah, for sure. For me, the event, the substance of the event, I think was top notch. Like what they announced and the actual substance of what it was, top notch. Execution, I still feel like Apple still, I think, just beats everybody as far as execution of their events. Like the way they do it, the way they bring out developers, the way they do their actual demos. I think other companies should really take heed and kind of pull some of that into their presentation. Now, granted, this wasn't a developer conference like Apple's, so it's not geared as much towards showing what developers are doing. But I do think it will help to see, what are some companies doing? What apps are we going to see that use this ecosystem, right? So for me, I would have liked to see more developer stuff, more partnerships. But as far as the substance, again, top notch. Probably for me, again, probably the best, announcements of the year as far as what they actually announced. Execution, man, so for me. As far as devices, go ahead.
You're thinking of IO. That's their developer thing.
True, right. Yeah. So again, this isn't for that, but I do think that they could.
How can you use the Pixel from a developer standpoint? Right.
Yeah, like what are you what's going to happen with this besides just your apps and what you are doing with it, right? Because it gets people excited. Like you see, Epic come out and show some game, right? Like that's pretty cool. Like you want that device for more than just what Google is saying, quote unquote, it can do. But as far as devices, it's odd. I mentioned it in kind of the pre-show, but for me, what stood out to me was the Home Mini. Simply because at that price point, I really do think, as we said, that it's really going to push the Assistant into more homes. And it almost gives you no excuse to not buy one. If you at all are in the ecosystem, then why not at least get one to try it, right? Like, why not get one for your kids to use and play with? Why not, with these sales and things, holidays coming up, again, these are nice stocking stuffer gifts, right? Like, hey, put them out there. Bam, you get one, and put it out there. So I think that may help really push Google ahead, or at least push Google into better competition with Alexa. Because as far as devices are concerned, Alexa is out there beating their behind. As Amazon released, who knows how many, 5 different devices recently, to go everywhere in your house, in your home. So, that piece excites me, as strange as that may sound. But and that wraps it up. My voice, I think, is leaving me. I don't know why. I guess I was sick last week, but it's getting low. It's getting thin.
That's why we never podcast. Christian was sick, so we never podcast last
week. Right. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I think that wraps up our coverage of today's events. I think we hit the high points, the low points, and the in between. I think you guys know where Giovanna and I hang out. But Garni, where can folks find you and what you're up to?
Well, you can find me out on YouTube. Just search for my name, Garni Bowling, or you can find me on Twitter at Garni Bowling, all one word. Anything else that you need from me?
Social.
Well, that's already out there. Get
right.
The Equifax.
Thanks, Equifax.
All right, very cool. Very cool. Everybody, look up Garni Bowling.
Yep.
And you'll find him. All right, Keon, what about you?
You can find me at YouTube at TechX Official. I think I just put a video up there actually today. I'm gonna start doing more tech videos. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all the stuff at Chaoszr, KHAOSZR. Yeah.
More collabs with this group right here. You already know what it is.
Definitely.
About to create a new alliance.
Javon, what's happening with Chill Tech these days?
Yo, bro, let me tell you something right now. We have a new phone. I get that okay. Yeah, we have a new video review coming out on the Essential phone. Check it out very soon. It's almost completed. We also have of course, all this stuff we talked about today, there will be full reviews for this as well on the website as well as the video channel. We have tons of new series coming out. We're still working on some of the scripts and the bugs for our Swag Tech series. So just sorry guys for that. Another delay, but it's what can I say, quality over quantity, guys. So some great stuff coming for Chill Tech, and also we have some pretty big projects coming up down the road, documentaries and things like that as well. So just stay tuned, guys. You won't be disappointed. Also, we hit 1,000 subscribers last week, so yay! Thanks, guys. We appreciate
Congratulations.
Appreciate all of you guys.
Congratulations.
It's been over a year, and right. So, of course, we will do a giveaway. We're trying to figure out what to give away. We have a couple items, but we'll see. There will be a giveaway video coming out very soon. Y'all can contribute and go ahead and get a chance to win something cool.
$1,000 check to Garney.
$1,000 check to Garney. You can win Garney's PixelBook, right?
Yeah, the GoFundMe account for that. Yeah.
Right. All right, folks. Well, thanks everybody. That wraps it up, and we'll see y'all next time.
Great job, guys.
Later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peace.